I don't see how this is not deep freaking value of a stock. This video is gonna be on GameStop, ticker symbol GME, and I know you're gonna think that I'm some degen that just bets everything on a meme stock, but GameStop just released earnings, and I just have to share this. Okay, I've been talking about this for a while now, so let's just look at these numbers and we'll see, and then I'll go over my thought process. Right, net sales were 1.1 billion as opposed to 1.28 billion. So that means net sales actually decreased year over year, decreased about, we'll say 180 million, right? Decrease. Next thing, SG&A expenses also decreased from 282.5 million to 241.5. So that's kind of good, right? So this is SG&A. SG&A decreased by about 40 million. We'll say 40 million. This is good. Okay, so this is already, this kind of obvious. So we can say this is bad, right? This is bad. Because net sales, so the net sales year over year decreased. SG&A cost decreased by 40 million, net sales decreased by 180 million. Next thing, operating income increased year over year from 70, so we'll say from 80 million to 135 million. So that means that operating income increased by 55 million. Good, right? Excluding impairment and other items, adjusted operating income was 147.7 million as opposed to 84.4 million. So in this case, if you exclude the impairments and other things, then there's actually a difference of about, we'll say it's off by like another 10 million. So we'll say this is about 66 or 65-ish million. To be as safe as possible, we'll just ignore this and we'll just stick at 55 million, right? So we're just trying to be as conservative as possible. Next one, net income was 128 million in the fourth quarter as opposed to 131 million in the prior year's fourth quarter. So net income actually decreases by about 3 million. 3 million. Bad, but we'll just say bad. Excluding impairments, this is a big number, right? Excluding impairments, loss on digital assets and related receivables and other items, adjusted net income was 291.4 million in the fourth quarter compared to 136.4 million in the prior year's fourth quarter. In other words, this is basically just because Bitcoin dropped, okay? But we'll ignore this and we'll try to stay conservative. So in other words, they dropped by 4 million. Cash and cash equivalents and marketable securities was $9 billion. Cash and cash equivalents, $9 billion, right? Bitcoin was about, we'll round that down to 350 million. 350 million in BTC. Okay, now that we have these numbers, right, we'll just look at these numbers for the fourth quarter. So in other words, if you look at these two numbers alone, GameStop has a liquid $9.35 billion on their balance sheet, right? What is the market cap of GameStop? $10.2 billion. So if their market cap is $10.2 billion and they have 9.3 billion of basically liquid cash. The company itself minus any cash is trading at 900 million? 900 million. the company, the entire GameStop is trading at 900 million, right? Now, let's look back at their net income. Their net income, $128 million for the fourth quarter, right? Net income, 128 million. So I don't want to annualize this, because what if this is a one-time quarter thing, right? Well, you have to look at an average. Net income was 418.4 million over 2025. So trailing 12 months net income was 418 million. Does this not look, do these numbers make sense? The company is trading at $900 million market cap, right? If you subtract the cash on hand. So this is their adjusted income. And they have a yearly annualized income for the past trailing 12 months of $418 million. They literally earned almost 50%, almost half of their market cap in the last 12 months as pure income. Does this make sense? Sorry, you can see it. As pure income. Okay? Now, other things, you might say that, oh, but net sales dropped 180 million, right? I want you to look at it like this. Net sales, yes, they dropped 180 million. That's bad. That means they're selling less stuff. But costs also decreased, right? And income only decreased by 4 million if you include the losses on Bitcoin. Right? So let's say you do include the losses on Bitcoin, even though you shouldn't, right? Net income only dropped by 4 million when their net sales dropped by 170 million. What does that mean? That means that their margin expanded hugely, right? Not to mention that if you actually do exclude the losses on digital assets, i.e. losses on Bitcoin, they actually increased their net income by almost 2x. Hello? And the stock price barely moves. I'm telling you, this stock they have 9.3 billion. Okay, let's just ignore Bitcoin, because I honestly don't even care for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's, in my opinion, I don't believe it. Let's say they only have $9 billion of cash on hand. That's ridiculous. Hello? Even if they have $9 billion of cash on hand, right? So that means that they are worth $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion market cap. They're still trading at a 3 PE. That means in 3 years' time, they will earn, like, if you annualize this trailing 12 months, they will earn back the worth of their entire company. Does this make sense at all? Like, I understand that GameStop is a meme stock, right? Or at least it's perceived as a meme stock. But you can't, like, I honestly believe that they have such a bad, I guess people view it in such a bad light that people don't see these numbers, or they don't care about these numbers anymore. Their margin is expanding. Their cost is decreasing. Their income is increasing. Right? These losses, this impairment, right? This loss on digital assets. Bitcoin can only go down to 0. In other words, you can only lose another, where's it say Bitcoin? You can only lose another $368 million. People, I find it hilarious when people are invested in something like Bitminer and then they still laugh at GameStop, or they're invested in something like MicroStrategy and they're laughing at GameStop. Like, this is stupid value. The entire company, and it's not people. Yes, hardware sales, right? Hardware games, right? Like consoles and things like that. That might be a dying. You might call it a cigarette butt. You might call it a dying industry because everyone's going into computer games or into all these other things. But the collectible market is expanding greatly. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think GameStop said they're gonna release their what's it called? One Piece. They're increasing One Piece. Where is it? News? I don't know where it is, but I remember seeing that they are releasing. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, super stocks, whatever. They are releasing One Piece power packs. So they're literally just expanding their collectible market, right? It's not, yes, consoles might be dying, right? Physical games might be dying, but collectible market is increasing. The alternative asset market is increasing. Like, I didn't bet on anything. I didn't bet on on the earnings outcome. I'm not salty or anything, but I'm just like the stock movement, people aren't appreciating what's happening. They're just reading that net sales decreased, or that maybe net income decreased by $4 million without reading literally the next line. Without reading literally the next line, without reading literally the next 2-3 lines. This is stupid, right? Like, and everyone calls it a meme stock, and I think that honestly, anyone that's holding GameStop, i.e. me, right, you have to wait until sentiment around the stock changes. When people actually start seeing GameStop as an actual company that isn't just a meme stock like AMC, like, honestly, in my opinion, like BMNR, right, who's investing in Mr. Beast. And they literally have something called moonshots, and people are calling BMNR like an actual company. Whatever. This video is on GameStop, ticker symbol GME. Just look at this, right? This isn't even factoring in growth rate, which, I mean, even if you assume a 10% growth rate, their PE ratio is like a 0.4. Come on. That's this video on GameStop, ticker symbol GME. Have a good day. Peace.